Hey, thanks for watching this video. This is gonna be where something that I call like marketing assistance. So just something to offer, whether it's gonna be an opinion on the market, whether it's just gonna be kind of what's going on, maybe it's just a recap, but just a little bit extra than kind of what you were getting before from me and Parks Ag Solutions. So, been getting a lot of questions here lately about stuff in the bin, and it is focused more on corn than soybeans, but there has been some questions on soybeans as well. So, 22 crop, what's in the bin? What do we do? And if you just do a Google search of selling what's in your bin, selling corn, selling beans. I mean, some of the articles that come up say, sell old crop now or hope for higher. Another one was, is it time to sell the last of your old crop? And it just feels like to me, compared to this time last year, there's a lot more unpriced corn out in the countryside than what there was last year. So just comparing the 2 years, it just seems like that's a big focus right now compared to bushels that we're still looking for a home, still looking for a market last year. And speaking of last year, I mean, there's some differences, right? When we were at this time last year, the prices were moving up and we were headed towards $8. Now, some markets you might be able to get $7, but for a lot of them, you're not able to get $7. So I guess what are some of the differences? Why are we looking at, $7 corn or not even $7 corn compared to last year, looking at almost $8 corn? So I think there's some things to keep in mind. Last year, ending stocks were actually working their way down. Now, I know in the last USDA report, they lowered ending stocks on both corn and beans, but the market hasn't really reacted that way. So what that says to me is that maybe the market doesn't believe in that lowering ending stocks number. Number two, there was a lot of pressure this time last year on Brazil to be looking for their second corn crop and pressure for that to perform well. So this time last year, Brazil was struggling with lack of rain, and it was over the majority of the growing areas. As opposed to this year, the majority of the growing areas is doing okay, and there's just a really small area that is not. So that has kind of flipped as well. Ukraine and Russia last year was like in our face, what was going on. There was a lot of questions. We didn't know how it was all going to work out. To be honest, we still don't know how it's all going to work out. But as far as what the market is affecting with the Russian-Ukraine conflict isn't nearly as potent and exciting and explosive as what it was this time last year. Still a concern? Sure. But we have been able to, the world has been able to move product out of Ukraine since the invasion of Russia. There was dry U.S. forecast. When we were this time last year, they were talking about an increase in drought, especially in the Western Corn Belt. They were talking about who was going to get rain, who wasn't going to get rain, who was going to get planted, who wasn't going to get planted. So there was that weather concern within the U.S. as well. And the way it seems right now is a lot of that is being relieved, right? A lot of what we're seeing as far as snow, rain, showers, storms is being, bringing some relief to those areas that we were concerned about last year. So what's the point? So when it gets to be this time of year with stuff that's in the bin, my biggest fear is always not having a plan. So It seems like everybody seems to have some type of plan going into new crop, whether it's going to be, I'm going to have this much sold by this date, or I'm going to have this much sold by this price. But then we get to fall, we fill our contracts, we put our unpriced stuff in the bin. Maybe we do some forward selling for like January, December, January, February delivery, but then that's it. I think we have to remember to keep that plan moving forward with even the stuff that we have in a bin, as opposed to like that first article said, to have a hope for higher. But what if those higher prices don't come? What if that doesn't happen? So you still, in my opinion, you still need to have a plan. Either that plan needs to be by, based on date or based on price. And my overall fear is that we're going to wake up, it's going to be sometime in March, still have crop in the bin unpriced, and I have to move it because I need to get ready for the spring and I need to get ready for planting. And I've got bills to pay, and you look up and the price is no longer at $6.50, it's at $6.10. So that's a problem. That's a problem, and that's a fear I have. So I am going to bring up this profit matrix. So this is going to be a case where it cost on corn. So as you can see, it's corn, and it cost about $800 to be planted in 22. Crop could have been okay to crop could have been fabulous. And as you can see, there is different prices here along the left-hand side. And that 686 is somewhere in the area, probably where your nearby cash price currently is. But I think the concern becomes, okay, what happens if we start going to 650? And I've had concern from people, what happens if we start going to $6? And as you can see, even if you had 100% of your APH at the 195 and you go across from the $6.86, your revenue is going to be that 537 after cost. So that's going to be your profit. You start looking at something closer to 650, that's taking you down to 471. And then, like I said, the big concern has been if we go to more of a $6 even type of number. This particular example over here is using 618. That's putting you closer at 405. Now, I think you do have to keep in mind that these prices over on the left go all the way up to 825, or what is that? That's 823. I think that's asking a lot out of this current market. Just to let you know, don't think that just because this price is here on that screen that I think that's where the price is going to, because that would be a big red flag. That would be a big no. So just keep that in mind as the price goes lower, depending on your yield, and maybe your yield up here at the top was closer to that 215 as opposed to the 195 at $800 of cost per acre. You can see how then those prices, then also affect you. Same way if we would go to, 234 actually in this particular example of what our revenue would go to. So just keep that in mind and know those numbers, because those numbers are super, super important. Okay, let me close this. So moving into the future, so I think we have to keep in mind that corn and beans on the board, futures are at inverse. So what does that mean? We've got March at a higher level than May. May is at a higher level than July. I don't know what the future holds, but I think we have to keep in mind, just like that graph had on there, to keep our profits in mind and to know if the market moves 10 cents up or 10 cents down, what is that doing to my profits? What is that doing to my bottom line? Because even if you only have the last 20% of the bin, of your crop in the bin, it can make a huge difference for your balance sheet. So my thoughts are to have a plan with your old crop. It doesn't matter if that plan is based on date, doesn't matter if that plan is based on price. Just have a plan and don't solely depend on hope. So have a plan, be working on it, keep track of those prices, and of course, let me know if you have any questions, concerns, or comments. I'm not sure what next month is going to bring as far as topics, but it'll be a good one. Thanks for watching.